So here we are, the very last two exercises in our book, the very last two exercises for the course. So far, we have learned how to get the individual costs for the individual ingredients in our recipe, how to extend that cost to find out how much that ingredient is costing, how to add up all of the ingredient costs to get the entire recipe cost. From there, we've been able to get portion costs. Along the way, we figured out how to get an as purchased unit cost and an edible portion unit cost. We've been able to figure out yield percents. We've been able to figure out what the food cost percent will be. And at the very final end, we were able to calculate the correct selling price to our wonderful items. So let's take a look at these last two exercises. And basically what they do is they take the major parts of those skills we've learned and apply them to everyday situations. We have two menu items here that we've put together for a special soiree for people. All of our diners will be enjoying this wonderful meal. We need to figure out what we're going to have to charge them. So our first menu item in exercise 8-4 contains an hors d'oeuvre plate, a cream celery soup, prime rib with stuffed peppers and sauteed button mushrooms, roasted potatoes, chocolate mousse, and coffee or tea. So let's take a look at what we're going to do here. The present cost of the prime rib. The prime rib only, you saw that whole menu here. All we're talking about right now is the cost of this prime rib, and that cost is $4.28. The other piece of information they gave us, the food cost percent is 36%. They want us to round all the answers to this question to the nearest cent. Our first question, what is the selling price of the prime rib? And only the prime rib. And we know from our work, if we want the selling price, we need the food cost and the food cost percent. Well, they gave us that up here. The food cost for the prime rib is $4.28, and the food cost percent is 36%. So like we've learned on our last pyramid, we take the food cost, we divide it by the food cost percent, and when we round that off to the nearest cent, we get a selling price of $11.89. Keeping that in mind, we move on to the next question, where we want to get the selling price to the entire menu. Well, we know the cost of the prime rib is $4.28. And we know here that the cost of all the other items except the prime rib, because we already have that cost. But the cost of everything else in that menu is $7.15. So were we to add these two costs, we would now have the entire cost for the entire menu. So the cost of the prime rib plus the cost of everything else, our total cost for this menu is $11.43. Now we're just going to do what we did up here. We're going to take the cost, in this case, the total cost of the menu, $11.43. Food cost percent hasn't changed, that's 36%. So food cost divided by food cost percent, there you go. The total food cost, or the total selling price for the entire menu is $31.75. Now, in this question, this situation, we need to add 4.7% because of inflation. Yep, inflation is still around. So basically what we want to do is we want to add 4.7% to our menu, or our selling price of $31.75. Two different ways we can do this. We can take the $31.75 and multiply it by the 4.7%, or its decimal equivalent, decimal 0.047. Again, what that totals up to is inconsequential. The only thing you need to know is the value of that multiplication will be 4.7% of $31.75. We'll take that value and add it back to the $31.75, and when we round it off to the nearest penny, we get a new menu price of $33.25. There is the other way of doing it. We can take the current menu price, multiply it by itself, plus the 4.7% already added to it. So $31.75 times 1.047, rounded to the nearest cent, gives us a menu price of $33.25. The same here as above. So again, doesn't matter which way you choose to calculate your answer, as long as you're showing the logic you're using. And you can see after we add 4.7% to the $31.75 menu price, we now have to sell for $33.25. Let's take a look at the last example. A slightly different menu: cream of white asparagus soup, baby lettuce salad with raspberry vinaigrette, roast tenderloin of beef with béarnaise sauce, pot pourri of fresh vegetables, chateau potatoes, cold lemon souffle and chocolate with seasonal fresh fruit, and coffee or tea. We are going to do the exact same thing here. We are looking for the selling price of the beef tenderloin. Well, they give us the cost of the beef tenderloin at $4.70. And in this example, the food cost percent is 28%. And like our last question, we need to round off our answers to the nearest cent. If we're looking for the selling price, we have to divide the cost by the food cost percent. So $4.70 divided by 28% gives us a selling price of $16.79. This is the selling price of only the beef tenderloin. So we come down here and they're asking for the same thing. We want the selling price of the entire menu. To do that, we need the cost of the entire menu. Well, we've been given the cost of the beef tenderloin, $4.70, and here they're telling us the cost of everything else on that menu, except for the beef tenderloin, is $8.45. So let's add up the cost of the beef tenderloin, and we're going to add the cost of everything else in the menu. We get a total menu cost of $13.15. Now it's easy. We divide the cost by the food cost percent. $13.15, or the total cost of the menu, divided by our 28% food cost. And once it's rounded to the nearest penny, we get $46.96. From here, we want to do a little bit like we did on the last question. Apparently, we have to add 3.4% inflation to our menu price of $46.96. And again, we can multiply the present menu price of $46.96 by decimal 0.034, the decimal equivalent to 3.4%, and then add it to $46.96 so that the new menu price would become $48.56. Or the one-step process, the old menu sales price of $46.96 times 1 times itself plus the 3.4% already built in. And again, we still arrive at $48.56, the same price. One last time, I don't care which way you calculate your answers, as long as you show your logic. And as you can see, when we added 3.4% to the original menu sales price, we went from $46.96 to $48.56. So there you go. You've learned a whole bunch of new skills. You're going to be using these skills every day. I am going to leave you with 3 words of wisdom. I bet you know what they are. Practice, practice, practice.